Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Welcome back to another Disney Lorcana market update video. Today is the 2nd of December. Hope y'all are doing well out there. Lots of stuff to talk about on the market. We've got lots of movement here due to the TCG player sale, so we will get into all of that. Before we do so, I do want to mention that the Moana 2 promo, excitingly and unbeknownst to us, will be available in North America. I'm going to post a link to this article here. You can scroll down, you can click on where you live, whether it's in the United States or somewhere else like Canada, Mexico, Japan, overseas, etc. And you will be able to enter your date of birth and then find a theater near you that has the card. I will say I would not just go strictly off of what these links what these links tell you have it. I would go ahead and place that call before you book your tickets. It is rumored that the theaters will start handing this card out on the 6th of December, which is this Friday. But once again, if you're planning on getting this promo and that's the reason why you're buying the tickets, I would call ahead of time and just confirm that they have it or that they will have it, that they'll be giving it out, etc. I would not go off of just strictly this website that you see here. Now, I'll have a video coming out on this tomorrow. I'm not a fan of the way they roll this out whatsoever. I mean, this was posted today, and apparently the promo is going to be coming out in a couple days in the United States. And before that, we didn't get any official word that the promo was going to be released, which I think is that's just bad PR, bad marketing. It does not create a buzz whatsoever. And the movie already released. Big box release was this weekend. And so I feel like it's just a miss on several fronts, which, look, I'm glad we're getting the promo, right? I've said multiple times that I wanted the promo. I'm glad we're getting it. Stuff like this just seems so easy to like put out a notice ahead of time. If they're gonna have this card and it's gonna be given out on Friday, they've known a hell of a long time to be able to put this announcement out there and build the hype and buzz around it. It's just very bad marketing. I'm a not fan of the way they did this. I'll be doing a whole video on this at some point, maybe tomorrow or something. But I did at least want to make you guys aware of the fact that it looks like we are going to be getting it in the States and getting it very soon, as in like within the next couple days. So if you already saw the movie, I'm sorry. I wish that this was rolled out beforehand. Once again, another miss on their half. But at the end of the day, we will be getting it, which is good news. Not to be too doom and gloom here on a Monday, but once again, more to come here on this particular topic. Not a fan of the way this was handled whatsoever. Now, taking a step back to more good news, there's been a ton of volume with across Lorcana and across all TCGs over the last couple of days due to the Cyber Monday sale. TCG Player did say that it was the most volume in all of 2023 last year. Obviously, the verdict's still out this year in terms of where does it size up and whatnot. You would think it would be even higher because there's so many more TCGs that have grown their catalog and their overall interest. So, and on top of just like surging sparks is going insane. So I would feel like sales volume this year is going to crush what happened last year. Probably very interested to see across the entire industry what that looks like. Obviously for Lorcana it will crush it, but last year at this time we had two sets. So we will it still remain to be seen the verdict on the overall impact of the market. Now, as it relates to Lorcana specifically, it's Baymax's world, and we're just living in it. Baymax has seen a ton of volume, and good volume at that. So just yesterday, it almost takes up the entire first page here. Starting at 136, Baymax started getting bought, and then finished at 225, 223. Excuse me, and even had a sale above 253. Lowest on the market right now is about 245, and it would appear that Baymax is kind of following the same trend line of Mufasa from Shimmering Skies, a card that maybe is playable. Definitely, Mufasa definitely playable, but at the end of the day, I think it's more of a collector's focus to collect that card and drive that price higher, and I think we're going to see the same thing for Baymax. So, obviously, a fan favorite character. Big Hero 6 is an awesome movie. Big Hero 6 is the main focus point of this particular set. Baymax everyone loves, and so that is driving a lot of price action here for this little fella. And currently the price is going absolutely insane. So if you pulled a Baymax, congrats. Definitely looks to be the chase of this particular set. I was fortunate enough to pull the Tiana, which I'm not complaining about whatsoever. I did end up selling the card for I think $165. It was the first raw enchanted I believe I've ever sold. But at the end of the day, I just don't love these chanted as much as some of the others, and want to put that capital into a different card at this point. Definitely not a card that like our family is really not an IP that our family has fallen in love with yet by any means. That I don't even know if we've watched Princess and the Frog, so just not something on our radar yet. But with that being said, Baymax is definitely popping off. You can see some other ones here. You Came Back is down to 3 listings, $130. Wreck-It Ralph down to 14. I think we also had, let's see here, Gadget Hacker Wrench down to 5 listings, $71. So there's been a lot of movement on the Enchanteds for Azurite Sea, and even some of the singles for Azurite Sea. So let's filter down to some of the playable cards we've been touching on here lately, and take a look at those. Shark Mally holding strong at $33. Genie, lowest listing on the market at $11. Oswald 14, Baymax 10. Let's hop over to some of the cold foil prices because those are where the fun's at. Genie's still sitting at $24. Oswald almost at 20. Lilo almost at 17. Calhoun at 15. Only 9 listings available. A very, very low listing count. Diablo uncommon is up at $11. I sold one at 9 and I was happy about that. And we've got it now almost at $11. So just some insane movement. Obviously, Shark Maui kind of leading the way up at 58 for a cold foil. Some crazy cold foil movement for cards that you typically would not see in terms of common, uncommon, etc. I think Sail Along the Azurite Sea, I sold one for $8 if I'm not mistaken, over the last night. Let's see here if I can't track it down real quick. We'll just search for it if I can't. Let's filter down to just common so we can see it at the top there. Make it nice and easy. Yeah, $8 for. So I sold one for $8. It looks like $7.99 is lowest on the market for a cold foil common. So I think people, as Lorcana continues to grow, people are realizing that no matter what rarity it is, now obviously common being the most available, but still there's only one per pack, right? And so there's a way less of the total availability to get the shiny version of a card if you want to put it in your deck. A lot of people like to play with the cold foils and the enchanteds. I definitely do. Now I know a lot of people say, hey, that's strictly for collecting, I only play with the traditional foil. I personally, now that I have enough experience between like double sleeving and just taking care of the cards, like I have played with cards and then gotten them graded and gotten 10s. But I'm very careful. I don't do a lot of the like crazy shuffling or anything. So maybe that's a con, right? And also I just don't play that much, right? And so I'm not going to league every week and things like that. But I feel comfortable playing with my valuable cards to an extent. But very, very cool to see some of these cold foils absolutely pop off in terms of their pricing, because that's going to pave the way for sets moving forward, and that is paving the way for some insane demand around Azurite Sea. So if you guys remember, when Azurite Sea, we started getting the enchanted reveals, we had a lot of bad sentiment within the market of people saying they were going to sit the set out. They did not like the enchanteds, and overall they just were not a fan of the set. So they were going to sit on the sideline, and they have not been rewarded because they are jumping back in now at some pretty insane volume. And I would expect that we're probably going to see some correlation between the sales that happened over the weekend with Azurite Sea and the booster box. I think we're going to see some correlation there between the singles coming down in the near future, because Azurite Sea has held its value too well, to be honest. We're still over $120 per booster box was the last update I got in terms of expected value. And that, I mean, we're a week past big box release, and so typically this massive fall off has already happened. Azurite Sea is remaining incredibly consistent. Now, whenever you put days like this together, a week after big box release, and we have 181 boxes, 229 boxes, 207 boxes, that's a lot of singles that are going to be hitting the market. And so I would say, if you have not picked up your singles yet, I mean, take advantage of the 10 to 13% store credit. If you want to go out and get them, get your Genies, get your Calhouns, whatever. I mean, it's probably fine. But at the end of the day, I do expect these prices to come down. Now, how much? Who knows? But if we look at like Maui, for example, from the first chapter, that card's below $10, or at least it was the last time we looked at it. And that's one of the most playable cards ever made. Now, there's an argument to be made that there's more first chapter out there than any other set, because of the fact that it had that full reprint. And so I think that, maybe there's just more Mauis out there than maybe there will ever be Genies or Calhouns, etc. But obviously the game's grown so much, and so I would imagine print cycles were ramped up. We don't really know at this point. But at the end of the day, there was a lot of boxes that were sold, right? And Azurite Sea is popping off, and so a lot of people that were sitting on the sideline have now kind of, come in and said, all right, what was I doing? Let's open some boxes, pull some enchanteds, and list some singles on the market. So I think the box is at a very fair price on TCG Player, $101 it looks like, or let's go back here. Yeah, 104, still well below expected value. By the time you get it, is it still going to be that way? I don't know, but as of right now, things are going very, very well for Azurite Sea. Some of those cold foil prices are going absolutely insane, and that said, it's just been a tremendous hit. And think about it, guys. We are in a massive lull as it relates to the competitive scene. We have Continentals and Worlds coming up, no DLC events. Once again, I keep talking about it, but you think back to Seattle that happened in November, there was 12,000 players signed up to compete in the main event and the side event. That is an insane amount of people, guys. That's just in one pocket of the country, too, right? And obviously people were traveling there, but 12,000 players that are paying to enter a tournament, that are possibly traveling to a tournament. You're going to bring your best deck, right? And you're going to try as hard as you can, and for the majority of the people. And so that just speaks to the volume and the demand that the game's going to have as we cycle back up and get into a playable side of thing, get into another playable cycle in combination with the collector base growing, with this worldwide expansion, et cetera, et cetera. I just think that we're in a very, very fun spot. And this demand even surprised me as someone who's incredibly bullish on Lorcana, have a massive pipeline of things I want to see and the growth and the trajectory of the game. I think that these signs have been even surprising for me to see. Now, when we look at everything from just a general market perspective, as we look through the TCG Player sale lens, still been an outrageous demand of everything, really. So when you look at the first chapter, we had 29 boxes sold and then 26 boxes sold. I think we've even had some boxes sell today. So yeah, an additional 4 have already sold today. All well above the $300 price point when you add in shipping. So continuing the sell-through rate on this box at $300+ at all-time highs is continuing to remain very, very high. Now, with that being said, that is getting a lot of boxes coming out of the closet for people who want to take some short-term gains, because we see 57 on the market. When we first got our 57 listings, and many of those listings have 10, 2, 5, etc. When we first got to all-time highs back to 310, there was 20 to 30 boxes on the market. There was not that many. Now that we're at all-time highs and people realize it, they're trying to take advantage of that. And so I would not be surprised if we saw this dip back down to the 250 to 280 range. Maybe 250 is a little bit drastic. 280 plus maybe feels more in line with where we're going to be. But overall, tremendous volume at the 300 plus all-time high level for the first chapter, which once again I think it speaks to the strength of the particular set and what people think about it. We look at just near mint copies of some of our favorite cards that we've been tracking. A lot of movement on these cards over the weekend as well. Elsa is back up to 850 essentially for a near mint copy. Stitch is back up to close to 400. Tinkerbell almost 300. Mufasa almost 300. Once again, I think this is kind of the same track that Baymax is following, while Mufasa may be a little bit more playable. And I could be wrong on that. Baymax, for these Inventor decks, maybe Baymax is going to be more meta breaking, and then he's going to ramp up even higher. I personally am not that in tune with the Inventor meta and what that looks like. But Mufasa up around 300, Cinderella at 275, Stitch 285, Maui 250. Maui's one that I'm surprised didn't go a little bit higher during the sale. I thought he was going to get back up to around 300 because we've seen him there before. And then when people start to get get that discount, I think I just expected him to get closer to 300 again. But overall, there's been a ton of volume on the market. It does look like an Along Came Zeus came in. For anyone who's looking to buy one of these, down at 145. This card was not available yesterday. 165 was lowest on the market. Now, there hasn't been too many sales. Looks like 4 were bought on the beginning sale, on the 29th, beginning day of the sale. But since then, no one's touched them, and you've got a fair price for 1, it looks like, at 145. Still very expensive for an action enchanted, right? But it is the lowest we've seen on the market for some time, which is but it's a good price. So apart from that, it really a lot of the enchanteds that we've been talking about over the last week have remained incredibly dry in terms of total listings available. Things like the Robin Hood still incredibly low at 12. The Donald Duck was very low as well. I think Donald Duck was down at I was still at like 1. So yeah, so 1 Donald Duck Pie Slinger Enchanted available at 175. Obviously, there's going to be more that come on the market, but just to speak through where some of these trends are going and where these players and collectors may be going. Still a lot of really good deals out there, guys, in terms of some of the enchantments. You see some of these with really high listings like Peter Pan. Obviously not a very playable card, but 39 available at $70. Very fair price for that card. Some of the Annas, the minis, I think are in a really good spot. Some of the promos, very, very good spot. And the sale does last through the end of today. I think it's at like 9 or 10 today. Check that out on yourself. Make sure make sure I'm not giving you bad information there. But at the end of the day, there's still time to pick up some deals if you're in the market for it. I think we've seen a lot of really, really promising volume. But we're about to get back in after this. Like, this is one of the most hype times of the market in terms of just this 13% back on everything, 10 to 13% back if you're not a subscriber, 10%. It drives a lot of volume and it brings a lot of people out of the woodwork to come out and participate in the market. So I think this it's just been a really, really fun weekend to see everything that's happening. Been a lot of volume on a lot of cards and especially Azurite Sea, man. People are really, really hopping on that set. So hopefully we continue to see the singles get, the boxes get open, 300 plus over the weekend that were purchased. See those singles come on the market and see what that does, because I truly think that that's going to drive the single prices down. But yet to be seen there. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. More content coming very soon in terms of, I really want to kind of do a deeper dive on the Moana 2 release, because I feel like that was just a huge miss. I want to talk about the Japanese release. We're starting to get some rumors about being able to get some booster boxes for pretty cheap here in the States. So I'll be doing a video on that. A lot of stuff coming in the future. Very excited to see how the market rebounds post Cyber Monday or so. There's always these people who went out and got a deal and then it didn't go to the moon, and so they immediately undercut and low list, and those are the people who just get fed to the shredder every cycle. But very excited to see kind of what comes down. What's the biggest impact on someone buying some cards that they don't really like, and we're just trying to catch a quick little flip here. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing. Thank you to everyone who used my TCG Player affiliate link. For those of you who are not familiar, I have an affiliate link. It's in the description of every video. If you click on that, favorite it, save it, and then just click on it anytime you're going to shop through TCG Player. It'll say Cardboard Kingdom at the end of the hyperlink here. It supports the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and I appreciate everyone who did that over the weekend. So with that being said, guys, we are done. Thank you very much. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.